Hello, this is the 2025 Vision Board live, where I'm going to share how I make vision boards and why I make vision boards and how they can help you to feel focused for the year. So the reason that I started doing them about 5 years ago was because I always have loads and loads and loads of ideas and things that I really want to do, and I get a bit sort of muddled or stuck on and overwhelmed with what to actually focus on. And creating vision boards has helped me to stay more focused and feel more like I can remember what I'm actually focusing on, because sometimes even if I'm really enthusiastic about something and absolutely sure that that's definitely what I want to focus on and really excited about, I might start it and then something else comes along that I think, oh, that's really cool and exciting and shiny, and then my focus gets taken away, and then the first thing gets kind of left to the side a little bit. And having a visual reminder really helps me to just stay on track. And vision boards aren't, they're not things that are set in stone. They are your intentions for the year, and just like with anything, any feelings, any thoughts, anything can change. So you may have an intention at the beginning of the year, and you may find that actually you don't want to focus on that so much, or that can be put to the side, or that changes. What you wanted to do changes, and you can alter. And because you are in charge of your vision board and what you put on your vision board, you can take bits off, add things on. I'll show you some examples of some vision boards that I've done so far. So this one, I think you can see that's quite an old one. It's got a bit faded and it's absolutely full of stuff, and you can see here that I've taken bits off where I maybe decided to not have that as a focus anymore. And sometimes I take things off and use them for the following year if I still want to focus on the thing that I started setting my intentions on. Because when I started this, like I said, I was very scattered all over the place, had loads and loads and loads of ideas, but no real clear sort of feeling about the possibility of achieving the things that I was interested in focusing on. So it can be quite big things. It can be things like, eventually I want to have a B&B, for example. I know that's something that will happen one day, but it's in the future. And then there are things that I might need to achieve to get closer to having a B&B. And one of the things that I did was I ran a cafe for a couple of years, and that was almost a kind of step towards having a B&B. It was learning loads of skills, testing myself, and that will go towards helping me to open a B&B in a few years' time. But it's a really big thing, and when you start doing a vision board, you might have some ideas that just seem completely unachievable and completely out of reach. But if they're things that really excite you and you would absolutely love to have in your life, then put them down. Write them down to start with. So I shared that I wrote down my intentions for this year. So I find that it's a really good idea to just make a list. You can just brainstorm, you can write it however you want to, and just get some ideas down. You might have things that have been going around in your head for years or for ages, or just over Christmas, or just in your quiet times. You might have just thought, oh, that would be great, that would be really useful for me. So you might be a small business owner, you might have a family, you might just be overwhelmed generally because, you know, life is chaotic, and having things written down and then creating a vision board are really good ways to just help you to clarify what you would really like to achieve. So this time of year is ideal to really have a good think about what you really want to achieve and reevaluate how things have gone for you, maybe last year, maybe in the last few years. The last 4 or 5 years for everybody have been really tumultuous, really difficult. We're still having the after effects of the pandemic. Everything was turned upside down, and I think, especially if we've got children, so much happened that was so deep and serious that I think we're still sort of coming to terms with. So using this time of year where it's darker and colder and you want to stay in more, maybe be quieter, this is the ideal time to just give yourself a chance to have a really good think about what you want to do this year that would help you. What would you absolutely love to do during this year? Now, I've got tons of things written down, and that's okay, because they're things that kind of lead on one from the other sometimes, and it doesn't matter to me if I don't get all of them done within this year. There are some things that I will prioritise. So once you've got your list, it's important to think, especially if you've got a big list like mine, it's important to think, what are my actual priorities? So I've written on my list the things that I want to do soonest, and you know, life gets in the way. You may not get to do those things in the time that you set yourself to do them. Really important not to be hard on yourself, to just give yourself flexibility. Like I said, vision boards are, you create them. They are flexible. You are in charge of how it looks, what you want to put on it. So with this one, I was wanting to do more art and focus on my artwork this year, this particular year. And so I wrote things like create more and paint more. So simple, but it kept my mind focused on those were my goals. That was all. I put sell more art, really vague, but that was okay. At the point I was at, that was enough. Just, I didn't really know how much I wanted to sell. And the following year, I don't know if I've got the one for the following year, but it may have even been this year. Because I'd written this down, it made me think, well, how much art do I want to sell? How much would it be useful for me to sell? How much money do I want to make? How much do I need to make to get the things that I want, or that I need in life, that would help my children, help me to be more relaxed, help me to get towards my goals? And using your vision board, you can come back to it through the year and remind yourself of what your intentions are, and then create steps to get you towards one of your goals. So the sell more artwork one, trying to remember what I did. I do remember writing out, thinking about what I needed, giving myself, so starting at the end goal, end point, the amount I wanted to make per month, and then breaking down how many paintings or ceramic pieces I needed to sell to achieve that, how many classes I needed to run to achieve that, and then what I needed to do to create that many pieces, or to get myself in a position where I could do that. So there's lots of steps towards a final goal, and once you know your final goal, once you have a bit more clarity on what your goals are, it's important to not think, right, just go and do that then, because that's not how life works. You don't just snap your fingers and you get to that goal. Putting things down like this is a way for you to direct your life towards where you want to get. So it's manifesting. It's just manifesting. Obviously, is a very ancient idea. It's an old idea. It's not new. All the new things that you see, where to manifest you have to, have some paraphernalia and sit and will your life to go that way. That's just a very small part of manifesting. Manifesting is making your life in line with how you want your life to be. So you have to live the life that you are trying to achieve. You have to just already be there, already be thinking in that way. And to do that, you have to give yourself space, you have to give yourself some peace and quiet, you have to allow yourself to relax more often, so that you can really have space to think, have mind space, have physical space to think about what you want to achieve, and allow yourself to be healthy enough and happy enough and relaxed enough to achieve what you really want. Because if your life is, everybody's life is cluttered and chaotic, and it always will be, but there are lots of ways that you can just have a bit of peace and bit of quiet amongst the chaos, to give yourself an opportunity to cut through it all. You're always just, if you think of it as underneath it all, underneath all the layers of clutter and chaos, your inner peace is always there. Your natural, it's a long way down sometimes, and it takes a lot to get there, but it's always there. When you get those moments of clarity, when you get those moments where you might be out for a walk, or you might take a deep breath, and everything just feels, actually, everything's okay. When you give yourself those moments to just have a bit of peace and a bit of quiet, that's our natural state. All the other stuff is just the add-ons, all the stuff that we think we have to do, we think we have to please everybody. That's all nonsense. It's always going to be there. But if we can see through that and come back to what's really in our hearts, and what we'd really like and love and need to make ourselves happier and healthier and more relaxed, that's what we should be doing. And it really helps me. It's helped me from over 20 years now. That's what I've been doing to keep myself sane. So back to the vision boards. So vision boards are really helpful for giving you some time to yourself to really reflect on what you really want, and to get to the point where you know what you really want. You really do need to give yourself a bit of time, a bit of space to just breathe slowly and just reflect on. So anything that comes up, anything that pops in your head, just think, does that make you feel excited? It might make you feel nervous. And is that because it feels unachievable? There are lots of things you can do to help yourself. There's so many tangents that I could go on, and I'm trying to stay focused. So back to vision boards, and I can help with all the things to get to the place where you feel that you can relax as well. Just focusing on vision boards for today. So this is another vision board, and this one I had a word that I focused on for that year. I had to think about a word that summed up everything I wanted to achieve that year or get out of that year. And it was when I was wanting to teach more, wanting to find people who would who needed, you know, some help with being overwhelmed, and who would benefit from all the traditional Chinese medicine practices and creative healing side of things as well. And the word that I came up with was attract. I wanted to attract the people who I could help. So that was my word for that year. So that's another way of doing a vision board. There are lots of ways, and because it's individual, you might come up with a completely new way of doing a vision board. And the point is to make it your own, to have your creative input. If you're not very creative, you can just cut things. If you don't, you are creative. Everybody's creative. If you don't feel like you want to draw or even write yourself, and you'd rather get things out of magazines, that's another way. I've done a combination. I've cut things out of magazines. I'm all into, everything I do is about natural self-care, natural self-healing, and the light keeps changing, sorry. So that's one of my focuses, and I've even got the word natural there. Create a natural flow, and that's Qigong. Well-being, so these are all things that are important to me, and they still are important to me, but this particular year, this is what came up when I was thinking, right, what do I want to achieve, what's really important to me. And another way I was saying about manifesting, I don't really like using the word, I don't really like using words that are so overused, but to get your life to feel how you want it to feel as happy and as healthy and as relaxed as you want to feel, it's really useful to talk in the present. So rather than saying I want that thing, to say I am or I have that thing that you want. So I've written here, what have I written? It's important that you can read what you've written so that it helps you to focus on it. I'm reading it upside down. So I've written, I have a beautiful studio with an inspiring view. And this was about 3 years ago I made this one. And just to show you how this works, so this was a few years ago. So I planted the seed. That's how I was directing my life. And I've been using my living room to teach in, and I teach online as well. But I've been talking to my husband about having a garden studio, and we've talked about it for the last couple of years. And part of having a B&B is to have a space where I can teach, but that's going to be a few years' time. And because this is something that I want to, that I know will help me now and will help my students, help me to reach more people and help more people to feel happier, healthier and more relaxed, we've decided to buy a studio for the garden this year. So that's something that I've been working towards, that's built up over the last few years. And like I said, you know, I always have loads of things I want to achieve, and little by little they all get done, and it helps me to focus on what I'm wanting to achieve, and it also takes the overwhelm away. I used to get really overwhelmed by everything, and obviously I still do get overwhelmed by some things because we live in the world that we live in. And I have two autistic children. I've probably got ADHD, not diagnosed, but it's quite obvious. You know, other things in my life are quite difficult and chaotic, so things can get overwhelming. And I've learned so many ways to help myself so that I can help other people. And that's the whole point. We all want to just be helpful. We all just want to be as helpful as we can to other people. And that's the reason why it's important to look after yourself, so that you can have the capacity, the mental capacity, the spiritual capacity, the physical capacity to look after all the people that you want to look after. So I think I went on a tangent there, so I can't remember why I started saying that. But this is another one. This is another vision board. So this one was when so because I have lots of different businesses as well. So I have an art business and a healing business, and they do combine. And it's quite hard when you have more than one thing going on to stay focused, and when you have ADHD it's quite hard to stay focused. So 1 year I've focused on the creative side, and then I want to get back to the Buddhism and the healing side. So this one was about that. So this one was going back to my my staying level, needing to stay level. I've been practicing Buddhist for about 24 or 5 years, and it's helped me hugely. So like I said, these are very personal, and so this one was about maintaining that level, inner calm that helps me to deal with everything. And we all need to have reminders when we've got a chaotic life. So this was a really useful one for reminding me. And I've still got things on there about painting, reminding me to breathe. I've been teaching breathing techniques for 23 years, but you know, I still have to remind myself to breathe slowly. This may have been after my mum died. This may have been, you know, it could have been from anything. And I had really severe period pain, menstrual difficulties that I've been dealing with for years, and using traditional Chinese medicine to clear. So it was a way for me to focus on just carrying on, keep on that track, and that's all sorted now. So this year, I had another board. So this year, so thinking about what you want to put your vision board onto. So I've got this long piece of card. You can just use any bit. You can use like the inside of packaging. We all get, you know, we all get stuff delivered. We've all got stuff over Christmas. You might still have some packaging. You might have the inside roll from your wrapping paper. You might just have a piece of square from a calendar. Just a big piece of paper. You can use anything. You just need a background. So with this, I might leave it that colour because I like natural, or I might paint it white, or I might paint it orange because I like orange, or I might paint it turquoise because I like turquoise, and then just add anything you that helps you to stay focused. So words, pictures that you found in a magazine that are appealing to you and that give you a happy feeling or a positive feeling, and you can write in colourful pens any words that will help you to focus. And I went to a DIY place and got loads of nice wallpaper, and that was an idea for my new Zen Den that I will have later in the year. I've got old paintings that I might cut up and write phrases or words onto to help me to focus on certain things. Just one moment, my son can't get in. I've left the key in the door. Okay, I think that's a signal. It's time for me to finish. So if you have any questions, if any of it you'd like to know any more about any of the ideas that I said, then let me know. Just comment below or send me a message or whatever you want to do. And I will make my vision board for this year and share it with you at some point. So keep watching for that. And if you do create a vision board and you want to share it, or you want to share how you found creating it, then please do share that under this video. And I'm just trying to think if I've left anything out that I should say. If I can't see any comments, so I don't think anybody's asked anything, but I'll go back and see if there are any comments that I can't see. So you can either meditate for a little while, just breathe slowly, just go for a walk and just see what comes up, what you really want to achieve this year, and find a way, find an image, a picture, some words that help you to stay focused on that thing. And if you have more than one thing like me, write them all down and then think about your priorities, and you can still put them all on your vision board. You can make it as colourful or as ordered as you want to. Mine are always a bit colourful, but obviously some people like things to be more organised. And anything that will help to draw your attention to the things that are important to you, your priorities for the year. So, and put it somewhere you see it every day. So I put mine in my my art room, and it's just up on the windowsill, facing inwards, so that I can look at it every time I go in there. And it just helps you to stay focused, helps you to prioritise, helps you to find some clarity, and it helps you to set your life moving towards what you'd really like to achieve. Okay, I think I will stop there. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have fun creating a vision board for the year. Bye bye.